All right, welcome, kings and queens. I am back, y'all. I took a fresh vacation at the top of the year. Yes, I believe in getting the new year started right. We've got some catching up to do. Yeah, we've got some catching up to do. And today we're talking Love and Marriage DC, Season 2, Episode 1. I am calling this episode The Prodigal Son, okay? Because I have a lot to say about the dynamics on this episode. For today's commentary, primarily I'm going to be highlighting the Tylers, Jamie and Arena. And for those of you who are just tuning in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. All right, so I'm not going to be focused on everybody else as much. Just for this specific commentary, my primary focus will be the Tylers, okay? But let me start with Joy. And I'm basing this off of the, when they gave us like a snippet of what's to come for this season, and they showed Joy verbally get into an argument at the end. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all based on her appearance and the way Joy engaged with the other women on Ready to Love. Joy has never been a girl's girl since I've seen her on Ready to Love. So I'm not shocked to see anything that's coming down the pipeline regarding her getting into it with other women. I expect that, okay? I found it very ironic in her confessional with Clifton that she stated, where's the sisterhood, right? Because she felt like they didn't celebrate her achievement or her receiving a call for, to be able to speak to single mothers. The reason I find that ironic is because you wanted them to be happy for you, right? And kind of rally around you, quote unquote, sisterhood. But girl, you annihilated Dakia on Ready to Love. I guess my question to you, Joy, is where was the sisterhood then? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on. But one thing I will say is quick. If you want your 15-year-old son to wake up on his own, and y'all, that's my dog in the background drinking water. Please, please, please excuse the background noise. But quick, if you want your son, who's 15 years old, to wake up on his own, then you are having the conversation with the wrong person. Don't talk to Ashley about that and about how frustrated you are that she wakes him up. Okay, and you want him to be more of a man and take more of a conscious effort into responsibility. Sir, please go directly to your son and tell him what your expectations are as his father. Okay? Let him know as his father that your mother will no longer be waking you up. Not only that, ask him, what do you need, son, to be able to wake up on your own? Do you need an alarm clock? Do you need blah, blah, blah? Do you need to go to bed earlier? Go talk to your son. That's how you solution in the household. And that's what women mean when we want a man to take a load off for us, okay? Don't tell me how to parent or how not to parent. If you really want to help, go directly to your son and let him know you're at an age now where your mother should not be waking you up. And as your father, I'm letting you know today or tomorrow is the last day. And this is what we will be doing moving forward. That's how you take a load off your wife's plate, okay? Let's get into the dynamics of dysfunctional families, because I believe that's exactly what we are witnessing with the Tylers. Now, don't let the wow factor of the Tylers fool you, okay? Because they dress it up real nice, and it's pretty on the outside. And if you stay focused too long on the external piece of it, it'll be really easy to overlook what's underneath. If you become too captivated by the beauty of Arena, the physical appearances, right? The clothing, the labels, the lights, the camera, the action. Take all of that away. This is a broken family. Very, very broken. But they dress it up and they make it look good. Okay. So, because of how they camouflage it, they don't really have to dig deep yet. And I'm going to tell you what I feel like is going on. I feel like Arena and Jamie, I am going to need the two of you to stop exploiting your older son on national television. By your own hands, by your own doing, you have created a prodigal son. When we think of the parable of the prodigal son, it's a parable about a father that has two sons. And the younger son goes to his father and he asks to receive his portion of his inheritance, right? And his father gives it to him. And the son goes off away from home and he basically squanders his inheritance. He's reckless with his money and he's literally hit rock bottom. He's eating with the swine and the pigs. I mean, he's just at the lowest of the low in his life. And one day he comes to his senses and it sets in his heart, I need to go home where I'm loved, where I have a father that cares for me. Okay. The main message that I'm trying to push through is when he came home, his father received him with open arms. His father forgave him. His father wrapped him up, had him cleaned up, showered, had the best calf prepared on his behalf. Jamie, where's the love? Where's the forgiveness? Where's the grace that you have yet to show your son? Okay? Where is that? Because there is something missing from this picture. Okay? You have taken, and I'm going to get into what I believe is missing. You have taken your son's hardships that you created, in my opinion, and you have exploited them on national television to make yourself look good, to make yourself look like an exemplary father. Okay? But what you're not doing is you're failing to explain to us as viewers, let's back it all the way up, sir. How did he get there? Okay, because that's what you're not going to do is skip. There's a beginning, a middle, and the end. How did your son get there? How did you contribute? Can you give us a little bit more insight into that? Because you give us a great high level overview of Jason, but we get none of that when it comes to Jamie Jr. My question is, how does a young black boy that comes from two successful parents literally become a criminal as a teenager? Okay, this is before he's 26. Because you said he robbed somebody. He was being like robbing people at age 15. Where were you? How did he? Because I know he didn't start at 15. That's when he got caught. What the hell were you doing, Jamie, that you didn't have your son under your wing, preparing the man in the way that he should go? That's my question. Okay? How does a 26-year-old man get into a situation right here, right now, where he cannot find employment? Come on now. I need somebody to explain this, because they raised him and they're leaving out the part of their responsibility and their contributions or lack thereof as parents. So, Jamie, I'm starting with you. You treat your son as if he's your enemy and you don't like him, based on what I see. You could not wait until that boy got to the party to embarrass him and challenge his manhood. To me, it's disgusting. Pick on somebody your own size, okay? That's a very manipulative approach, because that's your son, and he would never square up with you, lost or found, okay? He can't, because in a way, he's kind of indebted to you because he lives with you, even though he spends a lot of time at his girlfriend's house. Really? I don't care about his past. I care about where he's at now. Where he's at now, based on what I'm seeing on the television, he's a 26-year-old broken boy. And every chance you get, you're calling him to the carpet. You are condescending and degrading. Now tell me this, Jamie. I need you to think about this as if you were on the outside looking in. Now we're watching you on national television. And if people hear you speak of your son like that, why would they hire him? Why would they hire him? If his own father doesn't like him, if his own father doesn't honor him, why should we? Okay? You have not, from last season to this season, I do not recall you having said one good thing about your oldest son over the past 2 seasons. And you expect the world to embrace him and compensate him in exchange for his duties and roles and responsibilities and overlook his past and give him a chance when you won't even do it as his father? Are you kidding me? Like, what are you on? What are you smoking? Okay? Think about what you're asking that you've yet to give, y'all. It's crazy to me how people have this crazy way of thinking. You are literally punishing the boy for his past because he can't get a job because of his past, and mad because he can't get a job. Sir, you have not forgiven him. Every time you open your mouth, you are criticizing him. And you expect us to not despise him? Every time you open your mouth and speak on your oldest son, you're cursing him. And I don't mean cursing him by way of profanity. I mean, you are literally speaking curses over his life, over his prosperity, over his stronghold to indulge in criminal activity, over his lack of progression. You confirm it every time you open your mouth. Okay, you're not setting your son free. You're not setting your son free. It's almost like when a father doesn't bless his son, spiritually bless his son, you're setting him up for failure. You and Arena have done that long time ago. And this is the effects of it, okay? And then to top it off, you use him as a storyline that you, my friend, are getting paid for. He's not a main cast member. He gets no glory from you telling his story. And you're collecting a check. So if you're so concerned about your son becoming financially independent, then break him off some of that check that you're getting by using him as your storyline, because your son is your storyline and not your wife. That's crazy to me. Both you and Irena have trashed your son to everyone that you've spoken to on that show this season, including Irena's mother at the party. Make it make sense. Okay? How have you set yourself up emotionally that you're now telling a story of you being a victim to your own child? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, y'all. There's more to this story, and I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that you, Jamie, have broken your son's heart, and he's grieving the love that he wishes that you would have for him. That's what I believe. I believe that both Jamie and Arena do not treat either one of their sons like adults. You're sitting at a party crying for Jason because he's not going to be by your side. Okay, when we have graduation parties, sweetheart, we're celebrating. What are you crying for? He's a man and he's going to be just fine. Let him go. Okay? And you both address the oldest as Lil Jamie. That's a full grown ass man. There is nothing Lil about him. Okay? Call that man what you want him to become. Stop calling him Lil and start addressing him like the man that you claim you wish he would be. He's not a boy. Jamie Jr. can't grow up because y'all keep him in a constant state of emotional trauma with the up and down roller coaster of emotions that you both display. Okay? You're asking him, Jamie, senior, what is he going to do for himself when you know he can't? You know you only give him $400 a month. And I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be working. I'm not even there yet. I'm just covering the parents' contribution to this level of dysfunction, because a lot of times we skip over them in the Black community, and we have this animosity towards the kids, and you need to respect your opinion. But how in the hell did he get there? Let's talk about that. Okay? So I'm not discounting that Jamie Jr. needs to work. He sure does, but there needs to be a level of love, grace, and forgiveness first. Y'all, this family is broken. This family is hurting. And what they're trying to do is cross the finish line first before addressing the problem. Okay? And then you're unrealistic. You're pushing him to work at a hospital. He could never, sir. He could never. Your privilege cannot open doors for him. He's going to have to start at the bottom like everybody else. It doesn't matter who your connections are. He can't get in the hospital. The rules are the rules. So you set him up for failure when it came to that by calling someone in a hospital to get him a job. Hell yeah, they're going to do a background check. You set him up for failure for that. He doesn't qualify. So why don't we start looking for shit that he actually qualifies for? And you know why? You keep reaching for the stars because you don't want to be embarrassed if your son has to start too low. You don't want to be embarrassed. So to me, this is more about you and Arena being out of touch of reality than it is more so for me to be looking at your son. Okay? I don't know the background story regarding Arena and Jamie around the time that Jamie Jr. was born or conceived, but that's where I mentally, I'm trying to start there, because you're not going to bring me all the way 26 years later. Oh, he's a problem now. I need you to back all the way up. This is a reality show. I need the producers to do a little bit more digging. I don't care about the fancy cars, the Gucci hats, the red bottom shoes. If you put a troubled Black child in front of me, I got a lot of fucking questions. Excuse my language. I want to know. You can't fool me with the shiny stuff, the shiny new objects. I don't care about that. I care about the reality of it all. How did we get here with this boy? Huh? What was going on in your house that as a teen he got from underneath your leadership, your authority? Because you seem like a man that don't take a lot of shit, Jamie. So I need to know what was going on between you and this teenage boy. Okay. Were you even in the home? And if so, I mean, I have so many questions, but let me move on. Okay. I just need them to show more and dig deeper into the dynamics between the mother and the father, because this man clearly resents his son. This man has took his son outside of a party to brag on how he fed him for 30 years. Sir, excuse me? If a man is hungry, then give him food. If he's thirsty, then give him water. What the hell are you talking about? You should do that for anybody, especially your own child. You get no brownie points. Why are you dangling the fact that you provided food for your son in his face? Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, like I said, I am not absolving or excusing Jamie Jr. from the responsibility of having to get a job. But that boy is broken, and broken men don't flourish. So we're expecting something that he cannot give us. We see this shit go down every day in different communities. And nobody really talks about the hurt and the pain and the tears, okay, that these boys cry. Or some can't even cry anymore. So they turn to violence. They turn to gangs. They turn to drugs. They turn to criminal behavior. And it really pissed me off in that hallway. The producer was saying, talk to your father. He can't. His father's dysfunctional. Stop pushing Black kids back to dysfunctional, toxic parents, because they are not the end all, be all. I really wish I could have seen that producer treat him like a person and not a moment. It would have been nice to see that producer hug him instead of saying, having a camera. Hey, come out here. They called Jamie out there because they needed the dynamics in the moment. That makes for great television at the expense of Jamie Jr.'s heart. Y'all, I don't like stuff like that if you're not going to resolve it. I just kind of feel like he's out there alone emotionally. And somebody's daughter, somebody's dumb daughter, whoever his girlfriend is trying to save him. And ladies, that's not our job. Stop letting your daughters at that age save young men. I'll talk about Jamie Jr. later. That's not a woman's job to save a broken boy. It wouldn't work. And young lady, if you're listening, it's not going to work. Let me tell you why. As much as he appreciates you and as much as you're helping put food in his mouth, he needs to be a man, okay? You'll never get the love and not the whatever you're looking for, even if you marry him as a wife, because what he needs is to repair his relationship with his mother and his father. And until he does that, he can only give you broken pieces and fragments of his heart. Sorry, y'all, if I'm kind of going too deep on this one, but it's just, there's a great opportunity here. And I feel like I don't want it to be overlooked by the producers for drama. That's it. Your son wants to know that you love him, Jamie. Your son wants your love and not your connections. Okay? Your son needed you to tell him, that's all right, son. You done passed the background check. But guess what? I'm proud of you. I'm sure that was scary. We all get told no sometimes. That's what your son needed from you. Your son needed you to take him to breakfast or get a cup of coffee and remind him that things will work out for him to keep going. Keep your head up. Don't look down. That's your past. You're headed somewhere. Okay? Your son needed you to remind him of who he was called to be and not continually bash him for the mistakes that he made as a teenager. The problem is, Jamie Sr., you're embarrassed. And you're not going to let him live it down. You're embarrassed because deep down inside, based on my opinion, I feel like you are not the father that you could have been to Jamie Jr. You know, Jamie, you're using your son's heart as an emotional punching bag. He was on the floor at his lowest point. Okay? And you could even fix your hand to reach down and pull him up from his sunken place. Imagine that, y'all. Tears streaming down his eyes. And instead of it evoking a king-like presence towards your son, instead it ignited anger in you. Why is that, Jamie? That's what we should be focused on as your storyline. Why hadst thou hardened thine heart after your own blood? That's what we want to know. So don't be shocked, sir, if your son continues to remain in the place that he is, and you continually see that there is no forward progression. I'm here to tell you, you have broken your own child's heart, and you, my friend, have caused him to become a prodigal son.